Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today we will go on with our series on the different maqams in Turkish classical music, and this will be the 7th lesson, and we will talk about Hüseyni. Hüseyni is like a real, you can say the maqam of the Turkish folk music also, but of course it's used frequently also in the classical Turkish classical music, with its variations, and so Hüseyni and also Ussak, they belong to the same kind of a family, of course. They really Nuri Karademili, when I had lessons from him, from this oud master here in Berlin, he always said like this is really the like Hüseyni, or like Ussak is, especially Hüseyni, is really the taste of Turkey, you can say. like Anatolia, like this it's a very, very important maqam, and also it's a very interesting maqam in the sense that it really differs from our Western tuning, because to really play this maqam you have to use microtones. And there's also a PDF down in the description below. Just follow the link for this lesson. Also, I will play some like practical fragments. I collected some fragments there, which I later on play for you, that you can practice them, and they are all written down with all these extra symbols and what I use here on Guitar Academia. So check it out. Okay, so the first page is about the maqam Hüseyni, how it's constructed, and so what we have is like we have a Hüseyni pentachord. So we have this. Oops, sorry. And we have an Ussak tetrachord on B, on the 5th. And our yedden, our leading tone, is a D. There's also another version. Yeah, like a different kind of an octave, and it's just actually about the C sharp here, which we can also change to a C. And if we do that and keep our B as our kind of temporary tonic, our güçlü in this maqam, it's very prominent also. This B is very, very important in Hüseyni. It's really this güçlü, where you always move around and come back to. And also the seyir is inici çikici. That means that you start building your maqam from this perfect fifths here, downwards or upwards. Both is possible. And you always come back to that. So that's really like the central note. You come back to that, you always show that, and at the end, or at the end of larger sections, of course, you go back to this E karar tone, so the E tonic. And also just remember this series here of maqam, it's really like we take our pentachords, in this case pentachord Hüseyni, and we we already talked about that in the previous lessons about the tonal system and the different tetra and pentachords. And now we are looking in the series, we are looking at how actually this tetra and pentachord really becomes a maqam. So what is necessary to show, to do, to also extend above the perfect fifths to get a real like octave, the whole set of notes actually in a way. So we look at that, and we look at the most basic things this maqam is doing, or is how it is extending. And so when you say like I play Hüseyni or this is in Hüseyni, then actually what we are talking about today, in a way you have to show that, you have to play that, it must be there, otherwise it's not really Hüseyni. Okay, so we are talking more about the basic things. Actually, you see like there's three lines in the notation where it's written like pinchka and tam ferachnak, ekshik ferachnak, targa, and ekshik sega, and these different these we will not talk about now, because we did not really talked about penchka and sega and ferachnak, and this will come later, and then I might get back to that Hüseyni to go more into the explanation of that. But actually these three lines there, this is not like you do not really have to know that, yeah, for Hüseyni. It's just about what also is implied in these when you take the full octave Hüseyni scale, what is also in that scale, what is when you go to a different note, what kind of tetra or pentachord you can build on that note, which is one of the repertoire tetra pentachords which are possible in Turkish classical music. But it's not really important now here in this lesson. Okay. So we have also like these two versions of Hüseyni. We have one version where it shows Ussak on B, and one version where it shows Kurdi on B. So one on Kurdi is like Phrygian, yeah. And interestingly, we call this one with Ussak. We call this Hüseyni. That's a Hüseyni octave if we use that from the Güçlü, the Ussak tetrachord. And when we take the Kurdi version, so the Phrygian version, then we call this Achemli Hüseyni. And just very briefly, I wanna explain that. Achem is actually the F in the Turkish classical music. Every note has its name. Okay. Normally, this maqam Hüseyni is built on A. That's its yerinde, its place in the Turkish in the tonal material of practice. How these 24 notes which you use in practice in the Turkish maqam music. Remember, we also talked about the tonal system of dividing the octave in 53 equal parts, commas, but only 24 are chosen, and the division is not equal. So it's not about quarter tones here. It's just not an equal division. So anyway, so every maqam has its place in that tonal system, in these different notes, and Hüseyni is built on A. And so actually this when it's built on A, like this Achem is F is a minor sixth. Yeah, so that's actually this. When we build the Hüseyni on E, then Acem, I mean, if we take the minor sixth, is a C. So Acemli Hüseyni means it's actually with this minor second instead of this kind of lowered major second of Ussak. What's normally the case actually. Yeah, so this Acemli Hüseyni, where you show Kurdi on B, is not really something. Actually, sometimes you can even avoid that and still showing Hüseyni, of course. So it's not. It's also not something you have to show to make really Hüseyni. You make that clear. Interestingly, this Acemli Hüseyni is very connected to Acemli Rast, or Rast and Acemli Rast, because we talked already about Rast, and Rast Yerinde Rast is built on G actually, G, and Acem is the F. So it means Acemli Rast means we instead of this F sharp, of this lowered F sharp, we play the minor sevenths. Yeah, so the F in G Rast. And remember, I assume that you already watched and heard the lesson on that, because this is like a progressing series we go on here. It's like the seventh lesson out of more. And in the first lesson, actually, we talked about Rust. So you should watch that if that's really some very, you don't get anything here. So if we have G Rust, so it's normal place, it's G, and we say Acemli Rust, it means okay, we use Acem, we use F instead of the normal lowered major sevenths. And when we transpose that down to E Hüseyni, we also have Acemli Hüseyni, that's with a C, yeah, instead of this lowered C sharp. We have also Rast on D, which is also very important, very prominent here in Hüseyni to have that. It's really connected also, really connected with Hüseyni. Like if we go to the Yedin, to the leading tone of Hüseyni, the D, E Hüseyni, E is a karar, D is a leading tone, D. If we start from D, we actually have D Rast, or also in the second version, D Acemli Rast. Yeah, and in this case, it's not Acemli that it's like F, but it's a C. Yeah, it's transposed. We transpose almost all of these maqams and everything to E to be able later on also to compare that, compare all these different also cultures and scales and maqams and ragas and tonality, minor, major. We all try to put it on E. Yeah, it's a guitar, so we have the E in the bass. Okay. Also written there. That's also actually quite important to know that if we go extend the Hüseyni octave. So if we go higher above the octave, we have like the two natural possibilities, two natural options we have is either extended like in a symmetric way, so we just repeat what happened an octave below, and this was Hüseyni pentachord. Yeah, so we can also we can do that on E. and or we can also show a more bright color then, of course, bit more bright. We can show bousilique, so it has, instead of the lowered major second, it has a the major second, not lowered. So it's like, yeah. So these two very related, of course, pentachords we can show. Yeah, once we really are on that octave, we can go for these different colors. And this the vocabulary, I always do not really know how to pronounce it correctly, but it's like Genischlemme or Genischlemme. No, I think it's Genischlemme. That means like extension. Yeah, the extension above the octave or below the karar. So our Genischlemme is either Ussak, Hüseyni on E or bousilique on E. Okay, so I hope that's clear in a way, and please get the PDF, download the PDF. The link is in the description. Then you also have it in front of you, and I think that's also easier than to follow. And especially for now, because now we are going into the sound of E Hüseyni, and I put together some fragments, which I will just play for you, fragment by fragment, repeating maybe each fragment, so that you hear it, and then you have the PDF and you see it, and then you can also go for that and really take these fragments as a sort of practice you can do to really get this the sound and the right bending in your hand, in your ear, in your system. So I think that's a really good idea, especially with this maqam, this Hüseyni maqam. This is like so common, so typical. It's really this very typical Turkish color. Maybe beside Hijaz, this with this augmented second, what most people say, oh, this is an Oriental scale, and it's in folk music, it's actually like Hüseyni or Ussak. All right, so let's get into that sound. Example 1, not using any microtone, but having this tonal center, karar. And we play Ussak, we play Hüseyni from E. This is our karar. This is a lower octave E, just for like comping, like having this drone kind of a thing. It's also frequently done on the oud, to just play the karar or the asmar karar, temporary tonics, to also double them an octave lower. So next, second exercise or second line, second fragment. Third. Also, what we can do here is to play this F sharp, bit higher, moving up to G, and lower, moving down to E. That's something what is frequently done on the oud, where you can just have these minute variations. And this technique I'm using here is actually also explained in the second last line on that page, is this apoyando technique. So maybe let's talk about this exercise now, this fragment here. It's going like... Yeah, so what we are doing, we are bending with our third finger in this case, we are bending the F up to F sharp, which is the lowered F sharp. And then we are happy to have that note, so we don't wanna let go. And then we play, actually, while F sharp is still sounding, we play G, the note G, but we do it with a middle finger with an apoyando stroke. That means in this case I'm striking with my finger. I strike upwards, and after or while striking the note, I'm actually touching the lower neighbor string. So this F sharp then is cancelled out. That's the idea. So I can hold it. So it's not... Yeah, it's... And now I go back to G. And when I do that... Oh, sorry, I go back to this F sharp, which is bended, the bended F. And when I do that with my plectrum, I play that note, and at the same time, I use my middle finger to dampen the G string, so that is cancelled out when I play the F sharp. So it's like, instead of... Yeah. So I can really actually I can also go on with that. I can do that. Yeah, and then come back to E. So that's a very cool technique I found out to not always like every time you play the F sharp to bend it and then again. It's really exhausting. So it's like just... And when you do that, it's also a good... it's very easy, comes very natural when you go back to the E to play this F sharp even a little bit lower, and that comes really natural because you just have to release it a bit. Yeah, so it's also like this kind of releasing or resolution going to E. It also feels in your body. You feel that in your body because you're releasing that F sharp a little bit. So listen to that. I'm doing this now a little bit more extreme. One more time. Also, it can fall. You can really release that in a way that it really moves toward the E. Yeah, that's very, very beautiful also. Okay. We go on with these fragments. There's another cool thing here. What we do, we in Hüseyni, actually, when you move up with this F sharp up to G, then what you really can do is you can play that a bit higher, and when you go down, you can even play it a little bit lower. So you have like some variations. When I had lessons from Nuri Karademili, he said to me, don't take these S and K tones, so intervals, like too serious. And K and S are these 8 and 5 comma tones, which are actually these which are really different from the 12-tone equal temperament of Western harmony, and actually, there are a lot of possibilities to shade the notes. Of course, when you play with other people, you have to have the same intonation, of course. But even there, when you play like in a group, it's sometimes people would maybe talk a little bit before the tune is played, how low or how high a certain pitch will be played, you know. Although you have like like one way which is like correct, you know. It also depends what instruments, of course, play together. But when I had lessons from Nuri Karademili, he showed me like different songs, different tunes, folk tunes, and also from classical music, where sometimes this tune actually really wants to have a higher F sharp, and another tune wants to have a more lower F sharp, and it made really sense. When I heard that, I felt, yeah, that's really, it feels right in a way to have these variations. Okay, so why did I talk about that? Yes, because what I'm doing here, I'm having quite a quick bend from the equal temperament F sharp, so my F sharp, to G, and that's actually wrong. Yeah, I mean, to really play like this high equal temperament, 12-tone equal temperament F sharp is wrong. But I use it very quick, and I use it in an upward motion. So this kind of gives me a permission to just play it very quick, and it moves up anyway. So because that's another thing what sometimes happens on the oud. When I go up to, when I play when I go up now to G, that sometimes I can also to little bit, actually oud has no frets, to move a little bit towards the next higher pitch. In this case, to move this lowered F sharp a little bit more to the normal, or like not normal, like the higher F sharp. And so there are also in the musical practice, there are some ways where you might have a short of a really 12-tone equal temperament F sharp in a certain passage, and which is actually for Turkish classical musicians actually okay then. Okay, so I'm doing this very quick, and I have this permission because it's going up. Now the cool thing is, when I do that with my fourth finger, every other finger is, all other fingers are helping here in this case. I already have my lowered F sharp, because I can just pull off the fourth finger, and then this is already my F sharp, my lowered F sharp. Yeah, I have it already there, and that's a cool thing. And then there's another, it goes on actually, it's just not just staying with that technique. We go on and do like a kind of a hammer on, which is a combination of slide and hammer on to A, to the fourth degree. So we do like, so. And that's also very, very cool, this. And that's also really working together with the instruments. It really, the guitar actually, this is something I found out, where really this instrument, the guitar, is really working for me. Because what I'm doing here, I let this F sharp fall. but not to go low. No, to go up. And because I'm going up, my ear really accepts a very low F sharp. Yeah, it's going low and then I resolve it. No, it's going low, but it has this energy then later to move up to the A. I don't know whether that makes sense for you or at all, but if you hear that, it's really like I can really go very low, and I do that slow now. Yeah, and that is really much too low. I mean, that's not anything. Maybe it's Kurdi or like maybe the Hijaz, a little bit sharp, sharp F. It has nothing to do anymore with Hüseyni or Ussak. So, but it's in a way possible also because I play it very slow. And you see this little line there. It means like we fall. Yeah, we fall down. The pitch is falling, and the 3 is the third finger. So, but then I have. And I do a little bit of a little bit more maybe of vibrato here on the A, because that also sounds very nice. So this phrase again. Again. It's a bit different actually. Okay, so next is almost the same, but oh yeah, I was mixing them up, but it's all almost the same. The fifth one, it's just using instead of this kind of a hammer on, it uses a slide, which makes it even a bit more easy. So the fifth. Okay. Next phrase. That's a really like a cliche thing here. Also maybe a bit also more Ussak, because it's not going to the. Actually, some of these phrases are maybe also belong more to Ussak, because the A gets actually the bit more prominent note, and we don't show the B. But all these phrases, of course, we can really show in Hüseyni. That's these are really working for Hüseyni, and later on we will also have some more. Phrases which are really Hüseyni, which really have this B. So just I want to just let you know about that. Okay, so now the next phrase is really Hüseyni. We have the B there, and it's also a cliche. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's really like this approach and this showing this B kind of Ussak or Chechny. Yeah, I mean this we really go on B there, huh? You hear that? It's güçlü. Okay, next one. In this case, we play the C sharp with the first finger, and then we do a hammer on. K, yeah, K is hammer on, Klopfer, German, and we do a hammer on to and then on. We talked about that in the Ussak Ussak when we talked about Ussak in this series. This is like the second lesson, the second video of this series. That it's really, for me, this is really like this duduk, Armenian duduk thing. What's actually happening here? When you know this Armenian duduk music, this kind of vibrato and everything in a way is like really, it really reminds me of that. It was really like a exploration for me when I played that and I heard that and I thought, wow, that's actually this sound immediately. So next, we kind of had this kind of a thing already explained, apoyando. Next would be this one. Kind of a similar thing already on E. Now we have it on B, also with bending with the fourth finger, and then have a kind of a pull off. Every string, of course, is different with bending. Yeah, my G string is very easy actually to bend. So what happens here if I do that and I resolve? I do this pull off here. Actually, this C sharp is now too high. It's not really this nice Ussak, B Ussak color. So I have to be aware of that. And when I do that and I pull off, then I have to also lower the note a bit. So it's not, but it's. Oh, was too much. All right, then next page we have a rust, a D rust. We talked about that. Remember when we said Achemli? It's also we show also in the second line of the second page of these Hüseyni fragments. We also show Achemli rust. So that's a good example here. So we have like. this we show rust and assembly rust by approaching the octave. C sharp goes up to our asthma karar, to our D, yeah, our tonic of rust in this case. Then we play it again. Then we go to B and we do this. We do this bending to the C, not, but to the C. Very little, but very nice and effective. And we take that, the C, to actually go down. So to go down to the D rust, the fifth here. So the fifth also, it's like confirmation of rust, of D rust. Let's play this. These two fragments, actually, these two lines on the second page. I play them together. So it's like. This comes maybe more from the Indian raga music, so it's like a mixture here, which is actually quite nice, because it's the same thing. Like for rust, it's you can really compare that with Khamaj, for example, Khamaj, which is also using like a major seventh in ascent and in the ascent and minor sevenths in the descent. So that's the same with rust. It's like very connected to rust in this idea of showing either rust or busalik on A. So either the C or the C sharp, and mostly, I mean, it's very effective to use the C sharp going up and the C moving down, or using the rust pentachord more to stay or be in this upper region. And then to use this from A, this busalik color, this minor color to actually more progressing downwards. So it's very connected, very, very connected. Okay, then there's a nice phrase of showing like assembly Hüseyni. So Hüseyni on E with a C actually. How you can use that? So you do sort of A minor, G major, and then E Hüseyni kind of. Next one is going actually below the octave, and it's like symmetric extension, so Jenislemi. We show on B, below the karar, we show also Ussak, yeah, which we have on the fifths, on the güçlü, we have Ussak, so we just extend our scale, our notes below the karar with taking the same notes which we already had in the upper octave. So we have like it's also very nice. I actually also like very much the lower notes, the lower octave of the guitar. It's more this ut kind of a sound. So we do, how is this going? Oh yeah, we also do this wrong too high C sharp, which is actually kind of forbidden, but we talked about that when we move up. We do it also here very quick. Yeah. And then we come back to that, yeah, not striking it, and then bend it again up to D. And then we do this, so it's like and then we do this pull off thing. Yeah. And I've written it there also like very low. It's really possible also here to have like it's like a counter. How do you say, like in a way it belongs together. That I'm using the C sharp very, very high, too high actually for Ussak, for B Ussak. It's not possible actually to play like a 12-tone equal temperament C sharp there, but I use it much too high, going up to D, and then I use, together with that, I use a much too low C sharp for going down to B. So it's a bit like maybe a bit more like a cartoon thing here, more extreme. It's just more extreme, maybe more expressive, maybe also for Turkish classical musicians more out. But I like that actually. So it's I go. Of course, one thing we also talked about, but maybe you don't remember anymore. When we have Ussak, and that's B Ussak, we can tend to have a bit more lowered lower major second in comparison to Hüseyni. Hüseyni has often likes a bit higher lower major second than Ussak. I have actually my own theory for that, because why in that Maqam this note will be a little bit lower than in the other Maqam or in the other tetra pentachord if the notes are just the same. You know what and actually, of course, they are not the same, because in Ussak you just have Ussak tetrachord, so just moving and you just have Hüseyni pentachord, which is the same notes but going to the B, going one whole step further. So this was Hüseyni, and then I played Ussak. And my theory for that, my like a theoretical explanation, in a way, is really, it's about this intonation of the F sharp. This F sharp tends to be higher when when B is always be shown very strong and prominent. It's always B, 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 B. So actually this F sharp if I play it low, very low, and I play the B, it sounds quite harsh. The more I go up, the more I go up, the closer I come to this to the perfect fourth between F sharp and B. So in a way, I have a sort of how do you say, a sort of yeah, this kind of framework, or a kind of construction which I'm referring to, and this construction, in a way, which is always present, is this harmonic series. So actually my goal would be really to have a real perfect fifth, a pure perfect fifth. But of course, then I totally lost this quality of the lower and major third, which is really beautiful. But the more I can bring that up in pitch, the closer I come to the perfect fourth of the prominent B, yeah, of my Güçlü, and so I make it less dissonant. Now, when I take Ussak, when I have Ussak, it's not my B, my A is a Güçlü, my A, yeah, showing Buselik here all the time. So, when I have this lowered F sharp here, I put it even higher. Actually, that's also, if it's F sharp, it's also fitting quite well. But if it's something like that, that doesn't really sound so nice. So what I'm doing, I even lower this F sharp a bit. Yeah, the more I lower it, like now, the more it becomes a pure major third between A and F. Because when I have a pure major third, I have to, and I keep my A here, my third, then I have to bend the F a bit higher, yeah, like kind of 15 cent, around 15 cent, to have a pure perfect, I mean a pure major third. So that's actually my theory in this context between Hüseyni and Ussak, because Hüseyni shows a B, I tend to tune, to have this intonation of this lowered F sharp a bit more fitting to that B. And Ussak has A, so I try to make it a bit lower, that it fits to like a very consonant, pure major third. But of course, I'm never reaching that. Yeah, I'm never reaching the pure major third, and I'm also in Hüseyni, I'm never reaching the pure perfect fourth. But the intonation tends to go in that direction and makes this F sharp in comparison with the A or the B less dissonant. That's, for me, this sounds really I mean, when you hear that and when you think about that, I think it makes a lot of sense. But anyway, we did it, I think. So you have a lot of stuff actually to practice. I think it was a quite good lesson also. So I'm quite happy with my performance also on these different fragments. So just go for that. Download the PDF. Support my channel, and try to play these things on your instrument, and try to bend the strings and really listen for that kind of quality, this kind of a feeling, because the feeling will actually tell you, is this right or wrong. So if you in a way have this kind of this feeling of Ussak or this feeling of Hüseyni, and I hope you get this kind of a feeling here from that lesson, hearing all these fragments. So then you can try for yourself, and yeah, so you have a lot of I think good and practical material here to practice, which is cool, I think. All right. When you like these lessons here on Guitar Academia, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also click the bell button to get notifications if there will be another video released, which is the case actually every week. And also down in the description below you find a link where you can donate. So you go to my website, hupildenbrat.com, on the Guitar Academia page there. There on top is a button where you can donate to support this channel, which would be really cool to get more involved here, and that the whole journey goes on. All right, thanks for watching. My name is Hupil.